that starts from the way you think, the way you act, the way you behave, the way you feel. You'll have to make a 1% change in that for you to have a different kind of an outcome. But what happens with a lot of people, they are the same set of programs which run Monday to Sunday. They are doing the exact same thing, and I call it a program because a program is defined to run a particular way, in a certain way, under a certain environment, and as long as the environment is the same, the program is going to give you the same output again and again, right? So yeah, the program gets controlled by power, the program gets controlled by net, and we have to make sure that the power and the net is always on, and as long as that environment remains the same, the program delivers the same output. Now, I don't want any of you to be those set of programs. The program puts in the same input, gets the same output. But if you change the input, if you change a little bit of what you are inputting into your trading lives, in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your experience, in terms of what you are doing as a trader, the output can change, right? If you're expecting change, if you're expecting something different to happen for you in 2025, you will have to take that decision and you will have to make that change by yourself, right? So take that decision. So there are two rules which we surround these IB and IS signals with. And the first rule is the high of the IS bar and the low of the IB bar become immediate stop losses with a small filter. The second rule is all these signals are valid for 10 bars. So if they came in about 30 minutes, they are valid for the next 300 minutes. So we always define our signaling in terms of time. One signal which is coming on a 30-minute time frame or even on a 5-minute time frame is not valid forever, right? So a lot of traders what they do is once they get a signal on whichever chart, on whichever indicator they are looking at, they expect that signal to last them for a lifetime. That's not how the derivative market works. The derivative market is very, very time defined. Time is a very, very critical element of the way we work in our markets. So every single signal, every single message which comes to you has a defined time to it, an expiry date. And for us, that expiry date is 10 bars. So after that expiry date, that signal is no longer valid. But we'll overcome all of that. And we'll talk to you today about the need of a proper working process, about how with a proper process in place, you can negotiate the challenges which are given by markets. So today like I said was a relatively easy session, at least for all of us in the VMR. The bias was super clear, the way of working was super clear, the market was bullish, and it's always an easier market to trade when it is bullish. But we'll be having tougher days ahead, as we had in 2024, and there are going to be a lot more challenges. But I'm here to tell you today that regardless of what challenges the markets give you and they pose to you as we move into this year 2025,
Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. A quick sound check. So welcome to this Monday 5 p.m. session, and we have lots to cover. So let's start with the weekly spot chart. And as always, we have this report published on the website where we do a review of what has happened in the previous week. And based on that, we are ready for a bias for the current week. So this was put up on the basis of what we have done last week. So this is the Nifty spot chart. So you can see in the Nifty spot chart, the week prior to last week was a nice Gaussian curve. It was a nice balance. And what we did last week, we started with an open drive. We started with an initiative buying tail, and we left this A period buying tail at previous week's POC. We have always emphasized how in spot, where we don't have volumes, we give lot of importance to the value in the POC on the weekly charts. So if we are above the weekly POC, we are bullish. If we are below it, we are bearish. So once we got this initiative buying tail last Monday at the weekly POC of previous week, we knew that the PLR, the path of least resistance, was to the upside. And this was further confirmed by this initiative buying tails we got on all days of the week last week. So last week was a clear trend up week with initiative buying coming on all 5 days. You can see how we opened and stayed above previous value on each day, and every day we got this buying tail. Yes, we got A period buying tails on 4 days, and on Thursday we got this B period buying tail, which was still a buying tail in the initial balance. And considering that this was a gap up, there was already a invisible tail which was acting. So the bias was totally bullish right from Monday till Friday, and on all days it was confirmed by reconfirmed each day with initiative buying, making its mark at the open at the initial balance. And we have got a range extension on each of the 5 days last week. So as a result, what we have done, we have formed this elongated 1019 point trend day up on the weekly time frame. This is the weekly profile of last week. But in doing so, what we saw was the POC had shifted to the top. The POC was at 23343, and this was our reference for today's open. Above this, we would remain bullish because we had closed at the extreme of the weekly profile, and below this, we would have looked for a pullback. And even this below this, we had these extension handles of 23216 and 23071 as our support. Whereas on the upside, you can see if we would have remained above this, we were looking at this weekly VPOC of 23573. This is that VPOC on the weekly time frame, which was the objective, and these were the hypos which are given out for today. So let's just have a look at what we have done today in Nifty spot. So you can see how we opened above the weekly value. We were well above this POC, which was our first reference, and we left another initiative buying tail today. And we went on to tag this weekly VPOC of 23573 and continued to trend higher almost all through the day. So it was very clear that the imbalance of last week was continuing because of this higher open above previous week's value and because of this POC being held. And moreover, we got another initiative buying tail. So as long as we were making range extensions higher, we were looking for upside. So the open has been bullish for this week, and that sets up a very good bullish close for this settlement also, because overall the month has been a bullish one, and we have been speaking about it right from the time the March series started. Even in the first week of the first Monday which we had this session, we saw how the order flow was showing us IB30s coming in. So that IB30s have continued, and that is the reason we have got this huge up move in the month of March, and we have almost gone on to test that February swing high. So we are very close to that. So it is looking as if this upside move can continue for the rest of the 3 days which are left in this settlement, but we will have to take it day on day and value by value. So for tomorrow, this POC becomes the opening reference. We need to remain above this POC to start with and look to extend higher. So whereas on the downside, this halfback, you can see how previous supports become resistance and previous resistance becomes support. That is called change of polarity. So in market profile, the auction will keep giving us such references, and this, which was a objective for this week, has now become a support because today's halfback is right there. So this will act as an important support for the rest of the week. In case we get a dip in the coming sessions, we will need to see how we react at this 23570 level. So this is as far as the Nifty spot is concerned. Bank Nifty futures, Bank Nifty spot last week again was a trend up week. You can see how the first day of the week was a very narrow range normal day, but more importantly, what it did, it remained above the previous week's value and it left an A period buying tail. So these two were indicating that the PLR is to the upside. And this profile, if you see Monday's profile, it looked like a jigsaw puzzle, which was part of this previous week's profile. So this was just filling up the profile, making this weekly profile even more smoother. And then Tuesday onwards, it gave the move away from after filling this up. So you can see how we got confirmation of initiative buying on all days, just like what we saw in Nifty. And on all 5 days of the week, we got uh, tails in the initial balance. So that is how we got the bias very clear in Bank Nifty also. And we formed this big trend day up, multi distribution trend day up. And it was of a huge range of 2476 points. So value was also completely higher, but in Bank Nifty, the POC was still around the lows. So we could expect more upside in the Bank Nifty. There was no sign of any profit booking even after this big move. So that is the reason we were looking at more upside. And what was our objectives for this week? The weekly VPOC of 5851. Remember, we closed at 5593 on Friday. So we were looking at this as our objective 50851 and this 51145, which was a daily VPOC. And after that, we have this sell side extension at 52,010, which becomes our main objective on the upside for this week. So this and whereas on the downside, the Friday's POC and HVN of 5470 was the support. So what we did in Bank Nifty at the open, let us have a look. So this is the weekly spot chart of Bank Nifty, and you can see how we have opened above this, and this is the swing high from February. So we not only got above highs of February, but what we have done today, we got this huge A period buying tail, and this bullishness continued in the B period also. So what we have done in Bank Nifty today is we have hit new highs for the year 2025. We have even gone above the second Jan's high, which was at 51672, I think. So we have made new highs for the year, and it is definitely looking bullish, although we didn't get much of a move in the after the first 2 hours. The first 2 hours itself gave us a huge range, so that's the reason we started to coil, and rest of the day was a narrow range balance, turning up a p-shaped profile. So just like Nifty, the POC of 51611 would be the reference for tomorrow at the open, and we have this big buying tail as the base for the current week, and this will act as support. And if we look at the weekly charts, we can look for a test of this 52010, this selling tail from December 2024. So this is what we are looking for on the upside in Bank Nifty spot. We will have to take it day by day, and we'll have to see how tomorrow shapes up compared to today's value and profile, and then accordingly look for trading in that direction. For now, from the last week, the bias has been very clearly to the upside, and we have continued that today with a good bullish profile. So this is as far as the spot is concerned. Let's have a quick look at the Nifty futures chart and see how we are placed as per that. I just mentioned Bank Nifty, we are making new highs for the year, but in Nifty, we are still negotiating that selling which came in the start of February. So what we have done today is we tagged these two VPOCs in the Nifty futures profile chart, which was at 23,500 and 23,619. So I was mentioning how the previous resistance becomes a support and vice versa. So this 23619, which was a VPOC, is where today's VWAP is now held. So this will become the swing support for this week and into the settlement, the monthly settlement, which is on Thursday. And this will act as an important support. So as long as we are holding this, we can look for a tag of these higher references. 23810 is one VPOC on the upside, and then we have this 23928 and this selling tail from 6th of February. So this is how we are placed in Nifty futures. We have lot of references still left from the February profile in Nifty futures, whereas on the downside, this 23619 will become an important swing support. Along with this buying tail of today, we also have an extension handle at 23530, but that will be only if we are breaking below this VWAP of today. So this is how we are placed in the Nifty futures. And a quick look at the Bank Nifty futures. You can see Bank Nifty, there was nothing. This was the swing high which we left on the RBI policy day, and this was the reference. And we had this VPOC, which was an important level, 5700, and we stalled just below this VPOC on Friday. So today when we gapped up above this VPOC, there is nothing which can hold the shorts now. So that is the reason we saw this big melt up in the open, and above these highs, the swing highs of 7th of February, we just kept zooming higher. So what we have done today, we have formed a P-shape kind of a profile, and we have gone on to tag new highs for the year. So we will have to look for a continuation of this, and this VWAP of 25472 will be the important level for the rest of this monthly settlement. So this is as far as the market profile charts is concerned in spot as well as futures. You all must be aware that we have added a new feature in the charts, which is this option NTM volume charts. So this is a very good feature, and this is how the chart looks. This is today's Nifty's NTM volume chart, and what it shows is the call option volume and the put option volume. And when the green line is the call option volume and the pink line is the put option volume. So when you are seeing both diverging and the call option volume being more than the put option volume, it is signaling that the buyers are in control and the market is in an up move, and vice versa when the pink line is on the upside. So this is a very interesting uh, and transparent indicator which is real time. We don't need to depend on the OI which is updated only 3 minutes, once in 3 minutes by the exchange. This is live and this will get updated as and when the volumes are turning in. So what this is telling is that the call volumes are higher. That means there is more buying in the calls, and they can whatever writing was done is also covering. That is the reason the volumes are higher, and these lines are diverging. And you can see the previous 2 days, it is very clearly showing us how after the open, the call option volume has been increasing and the put was always below the call. There was an interesting time on the expiry day where at the open, the put volume was greater, but later I'll just zoom into that. So here you can see on the expiry day, the call volume started higher, but then there was the put volume which took over. Then again, the put volume took over. And then this 12:15 mark where there was a definite change. And from where it started to diverge, the call volume just kept getting higher and higher, and the put volume kept diverging from this. So this was a very clear indicator of the market changing the character. And combined with this, we got that IB30 bars on the Nifty futures, which we spoke about on Thursday. So when you see this NTM volume chart and have the order flow with you, there is nothing like that. You don't need any more signals from the open interest, and you can even take this time frame, whichever time frame you need. If you look at the 3 minute, you can see the last 3 days of the NTM volume. You can see how on 20th there was a little bit of put volume which was coming in, but after the 12:15 time, it was only the green which is higher. And the next 2 days, right from the open till the close, it has been the CE volumes which have been the getting more volumes, attracting more volume. C side which is attracting more volumes. So this is how you can decipher this and make use of this MTM volume chart. In this is for Nifty. We can also do this. Have a look at the same for the Bank Nifty. You can see this is today's chart. Right from the open, the call volume started to go higher and it continued to be higher and kept diverging from this put volume. At no point of time they came closer to each other. So this keeps you in good stead. This tells you that if uh, you have a bias, and if you have seen the structure, you have taken some bias considering the structure, this will keep that bias intact. In case this is not confirming with the bias, then that means you need to wait in and wait for something, some both the things to fall in place. So for example, if the structure was bullish and you are not seeing the call volume higher, then you would have to wait for this to happen before you look for long side trades. So this is a very good feature, and because Bank Nifty is now in the settlement week, you can get good signals even in the Bank Nifty, because otherwise the last couple of weeks were quite dull in the Bank Nifty options because there was no settlement and there was hardly any volumes which used to come in. And you can do the same time, you can change the time for even this thing, and you can have that multiple. So you can see how even in Bank Nifty all days we have had the NTM call volumes higher than the put volumes, which was telling and reconfirming with our bias. And when we'll come to the order flow chart in a bit, and even the order flow was confirming us. So when you have this structure telling you that it is bullish, then when you have this option volume telling you that there is more volumes on the call side, so you need to look on long side trades, and then the order flow is giving you IB30s and IB3s, there is no reason why your trade should not have a greater probability to be a winner. So this is as far as this NTM volume chart is concerned. Now let's have a quick look at the order flow chart. And we had already discussed this 20th March order flow chart. We will just have a quick revisit at this. Thursday 5 p.m. session, we had covered this about how we had an open auction out of range, but we took support above previous day's high. And then in the afternoon G period, we got this IB30. This IB30 got activated once we got above this 23128, and then we got another IB30. So we even spoke about on Thursday evening, we spoke about how this 23120 would be the important reference, which we can have as a positional stop loss for more upside in Nifty futures. So what we did on Friday, we formed a good green bar at the in the A period and remained above the POC and VWAP of this green A period. So we went on to make new highs of 23437, where we got an RS, and then we got a pullback in the afternoon. And this was a typical late afternoon pullback which we get. We used to get lot of these initially on trend days, which in the J period, and then the K would go on to give us new highs. But what it did, what this order flow, what this dip did on Friday was, it did break below VWAP, but then it took support right at the IBH level. And this IBH level was where we also left an extension handle in the morning. So you can see how the buyers were coming in, booking profits. We got this dip, and then again the buyers came back here. You can see in this order flow how we have got zeros on the sell side, and this being defended, and on the close we closed well above VWAP. So it was very clear that the buyers have come back here, and as long as this VWAP is held, we were looking for more upside in today's session. So this was Friday's session. There was no IB signals as such, but after the A period green bar, it was definitely looking, it was paying to go on the long side. So I'll quickly cover up today's 30 minutes, and then we will come to the 3 minutes and see how we placed on the 3 minutes. So today 30 minutes also, what we did, it was an open auction out of range, similar to what we did on Friday, and we got a dip in the second part of the A period. But can see how this dip held just above the previous day high. So previous day high after an open auction out of range holding means the auction wants to continue in the direction of the gap. And that is the reason this B period left an extension handle at this 23530 and formed this big green bar, and we continued higher. We made a range extension in the C, and then immediately that was complemented by a D period range extension. Yes, the POC shifted higher, which was telling us profit booking was coming in, but still we remained above VWAP, and more importantly above this IBH level today, which is at 23584. So this was also the VWAP of this seaside 23606. So we were holding that, and this dip in the E, the pullback low we left was right at this IBH. So this is how market profile gets gives us the structure, gives us the support references, and order flow here is telling us that this VWAP, which was a buy side reference, is showing us responsive buying. So after this, we had to uh, remain bullish because VWAP was not broken and we didn't get any IS bars. And what we did in the 145 bar today in the J period today is form an IB30. So this IB30 you cannot say has got activated because we have not spent much time about this 23715. Also, this 23728 was one important reference because this was the 2IB target of today's range extension. So we have this market profile set up. When the range is extending in a direction, you'll definitely want to book profits at the 2IB mark. So 23728 was that level today. So you are seeing profit booking at this level. But we have definitely closed bullish. And if we stay above this 23715 tomorrow with this 23631 as our reference, we can look for targets in similar objectives. So 1:1 would be our first target, and accordingly we will look to hold on to that with the stop losses at cost once you hit the first target. So this is as far as the 30-minute order flow of Nifty futures is concerned. I'll quickly take you to the 3-minute order flow, because 30-minute you will not get IB30s on all days. So, but when you know the bias has been bullish, so how do you make use of the signals and how do you re-enter into the trend? So let's just have a quick look at today's order flow chart of Nifty, the 3-minute order flow, so that we can make sense of what trade we could have taken. So as I said, it was an open auction out of range and we did not get any signals in the A period, and we got this dip in the close of A period, which got an RB bar just above previous day high. So this was telling us this is getting defended. So this is good RB. And what we did was in the B period, we got this IB. So we have got back above VWAP. We have taken support at previous day high. RB is there and this IB is there. So this RB plus IB, in fact, this 948 bar also was a good confirmation that VWAP has been taken out. Was a very good signal for us to get into long side positions in Nifty futures, especially overall when we know that the structure is bullish. So we can we also have this important feature in the order flow chart where using this date column we can go back to any date and the time of where you want to look at the chart, and once you do that you can have a replay of the entire session. So it replays and you can even select the speed at which you want the replay to happen: normal, fast, faster. So that's what I did. I went back to today's open using this dialog. We can even go to any days previous sessions open, and you can also select the time frame. Even at the end of the day you can go back and revisit this chart and the signals which had been generated. So coming back to today's chart, this IB was the signal that you need to go long. And what is your stop loss? This 23515. So with 23515 being your reference, you will look for the first target to hit. 23548 minus 23515 would have been your first target, and once that gets hit you will trail rest of your position to cost. You can see how this 23548 was never tagged again in the day, and we went on, we kept probing higher. This POC did move higher and we got some profit booking signals over here. So this is a case for us to decide whether you want to book profit here, you want to trail your stop loss. But the entry which we got on that IB3 signal is still valid, and you can see how this dip in the 1145 is holding above the VWAP which we saw in the 30-minute order flow also. So again, a quick fast forward of this 3-minute, and you can see we have not got any IS, and this at 151 we have got another IB bar. So we have been above VWAP, we have been negotiating at this POC, the white bold line, and this IB again is giving you a fresh signal, but then signal wise you need to book profit as per the range. You cannot expect all signals to give you 50 points. So this signal was only of 20 points, so you will get a 20 point, then you trail the rest to your cost, so that there is no you make it risk free trade, the part position which you are carrying. So if this does not get hit again, then you still remain in the trend and you can get your risk free trade to give you more profit. So you can see how this entry level, this POC of 23660 was also not broken. We came lower to 23666, but that level was not broken. So that is the power of these IB signals on all time frames, whether it is on 30 minutes or 3 minutes. And if you have the bias clear, then you can trade the signals on whatever time frame you are looking. So this is as far as the Nifty futures is concerned, and you can definitely make use of this replay mode, where you can go back to any order flow chart of any day and have a replay part. Let's now have a quick look at the Bank Nifty order flow before we can wind up for today. So Bank Nifty also, we discussed about this expiry day IB30 coming in, which was a cue to remain long for the Friday session. And you can see how this Friday's open was taking support right at this POC. So it continued to remain bullish. And then what we saw was another IB30 in the G period. But this IB30 was not getting much volumes above this 55.45. You can see how we have not been able to get much of demand, and we have got an RS bar here. And this IB30 got negated, it got broken below, but then we got this dip, a pullback low, and closed onto the highs. So once we are getting this confirmation, and if you are aware about the structure, you can definitely look for a revisit for of this IB30 the following session if we remain above this level and with this 5450 as your stop loss. So we opened higher, so it is telling us that that IB30 is in play. And even if we have not made use of that, you can see how we got a fresh IB30 in the B period today. So this was, even if you have not taken any position, probe above this 51424 was a long side trade with a stop loss of 51155. So as I mentioned, your targets also will be based on the range, and that is the reason your first target would have been 180 points from this, and you went on to hit that, and then you trail it to cost. So that 51424 never came back, and what happened later in the day was we went on to get this another IB30. Here again you can see the two couple of bars which we were not able to get above this IB30, and then we made a dip below this. We took support right at this POC and then closed above this IB30 bar. This happened all in the JTPO. So this meant that this IB30 is now triggered, and your stop loss would have been this 51560. And we have gone on to close at the highs. This first target of this IB30 activation has already been achieved, and we have gone on to close at the highs, which is telling us that the imbalance has got a very good chance of continuing for tomorrow. And the same thing, let us just have a quick look at the Bank Nifty 3 minute. Again, I'm using this select date and time option. We are going to remain in today's date, and we are going at the open. So you click OK, you go to the open of the day, and here again you can see how we've got a good green bar, and the first IB3 signal came at 9:40 today in Bank Nifty. So this was a very good setup, and it is coming right at the VWAP of the day. So you know that structure wise you are bullish, and this VWAP of the day is showing you an IB bar. So you go long above this 51108, and your stop loss would be 51020. And you can see there was no looking back in Bank Nifty futures today. It just kept going higher and higher. It was in beast mode. You got another IB3 at 10:15, and this IB also got triggered. We got a rare seaside extension handle today, which because the seaside was on good volumes, and we also got IB signals in the seaside, which is rare. In fact, this also was a seaside IB, and it was followed by two more signals in the seaside. So you can see all these signals on the 3 minutes, and because we knew the structure is bullish, you could make use of these signals and remain long, or if you would have gone long on this, you book profits and trail your stop loss to cost. At no point of time you should give back money to the market in a trade which has moved in your favor. So you need to make sure you're aware about which how many signals have already come, and what should be your ideal stop loss for that trade. So you can see how the IB signals stalled once we uh, made got this D period and E period extension, and we got this RS bar. After which we got this IS, we made a small consolidation for the rest of the day. But at no point of time again we broke VWAP, and here we saw in the afternoon IB bars coming back on 3 minutes. So this was again a re-entry into the auction, and these signals also gave us the 1:1 target, and then you trail to your cost 51630, which was the cost in this matter. And you can see how this low stopped right at this 51633 level, and you've got zeros on the sell side. So even if you're not in a trade, just making note of these IB signals and the entry points and what the order flow shows you when the auction revisits that is telling you how good a reference that is to go long. So this in fact was a very good signal to go long even if you are not in a long side trade, because this IB30 IB signal was being held, and you can see that is the reason we got this bounce from 51,630 to 51,830 into the close. This is the last 30 minutes where we made a quick 200 points up move, and this was because we did not get supply at a previous buy side level which was defined by that IB3 signal. So this is how you make use of these IB signals on 3 minutes, and this is how you combine the three aspects: the structure of the market, then the option inventory, which is telling you whether the call volume is more or the put volume, and then finally the hero of the day, which is the order flow charts, the order flow signals. So that is it from my side for today, guys. If there are any queries, I'll be happy to answer them before we wind up for the day. And I missed another important point while discussing the structure, which was of the failed auction which we had in Nifty futures, and also the rollover point. So we always emphasize how the rollover point and the failed auction are important concepts in market profile. So we discussed in the Thursday session how we got buying signals first at the failed auction point, which was not showing demand when it probed there 22615 level in the first two attempts. But once we saw IB bars over there, we knew that the buyer is now taking control. And then the 22683 in Nifty futures, which was the rollover point, gave us that IB signal on 18th of March. We saw that that IB signal came on the 3 minutes, similar to what we got today. So once we get that structure plus confirmation in order flow, then there is no looking back. So you that gives you a golden combo of getting into a good positional trade. So that was one thing which I missed, so I just covered it quickly. Fin Nifty has got very less volumes, that is the reason we don't cover it, but we'll definitely want to have a look at the chart, and we will cover it in one of the upcoming sessions, and take note of the suggestions. So thank you guys for joining in. Any feedback is welcome. You can mail us at support@Vtrender or DM me on X or Twitter. @Uttam Goyal is my ID. We'll be happy to answer any queries, and we look forward to these sessions helping you in your trading and get better and better. So thank you for joining in, and let's have a great monthly settlement in March. This month has been a bullish one. So let's close it with a bang. Signing off for now. Thank you for joining in.